the Isuzu Trooper shop here today for a special little job. We are going to do a mass airflow sensor clean. And so we've got a bottle of the CRC Sensor Clean. This is a mass airflow sensor cleaner. It's only going to take 10 to 15 shots of that. So one of these cans is basically good for life unless you're doing some mechanics. So we're just going to come over to the airbox, right? And we're just going to come over to the airbox, which I have prepped a little bit in advance, but I just wanted to show you my method for taking off the connection for the mass airflow sensor, sometimes referred to as the MAF. There is a little metal clip in here, this stainless steel clip, and so I just take the flat edge of a flathead screwdriver and I drive it in there and I move that, but I'm very careful when I start to get the clip over the edge so that I don't have it fly off like a little spring. And I just leave it on there. You do not want to lose this little metal clip. Doing this one-handed is kind of risky, but that clip is going to cause you some serious problems if you lose it. You're going to be, probably jimmy rigging something with some silicone or something like that to keep that connector on there. And so once you get that set on the sides, like I have, then when you go to, oh no, it's popped out of place, but when you go to reassemble it, generally speaking, if it holds its position on the sides, you can just snap it up like that and it'll clip back on. I'm going to have to pull that off now and fix it because one side is not doing what I wanted. Anyway, so once we get that connector off, we're going to loosen the flathead hose clamp that holds the main air intake hose on. And we're also going to loosen the Phillips hose clamp, which holds the actual sensor to the airbox. Looks like mine is a little bit stuck in the hole, so to speak. I have also removed the honeycomb wafer that sits in front on the opposite side. So if I flip it over here, normally right in here on the top you'll see a honeycomb wafer. You want to be very careful with that wafer. It is easily damaged, and down there you can see the little port which is got our sensor inside. And so I'm just going to set you down here, and we're doing this because we're servicing the air filter. And you can take a look at the next video where I get into a bit of a discussion on K&N air filters and just how to clean and recharge them. Oh, I forgot about those bolts. Right, so we've got a couple of 14 mil bolts which hold the mass airflow sensor on, so it's not so much stuck as it is still attached. I'll get my ratchet and get to work on that. Did I say 14? Yes, I meant to say 12. My bad. Alright. Speaking of cool tools, let's take a look at one that looked cool on initial purchase but didn't turn out to be so cool. Everybody's seen these ratcheting wrenches. They can definitely save the day. They're very cool. But the crappy tire decided to release these gear wrench maximum tools, and it has, I don't know if you can see that, it has a little pin. So this box end of this open-ended wrench actually has a tiny little pin on the inside. The problem with this design, I've had it save my ass once where I couldn't get a wrench in anywhere and it worked. But the problem with this design is that that pin is so sensitive that you can't put a lot of torque on it. And at the same time, it won't ratchet backwards, just like the closed end. It won't ratchet backwards if there's not enough friction on the fastener to actually hold the fastener in place while you ratchet. If you don't have it perfectly on the hex head of the bolt, then it kind of sits awkward. So I purchased some of these thinking it was a cool tool, and in the end they turned out to be not so useful. So in the future I will not repeat and purchase more of those. But in this case, there's enough friction there, you can see them actually working until the fastener is loose enough, and then you've got to hold your thumb on there or something to keep it in place. Anyway, so I've got a rag set up where I can take the mass airflow sensor to clean it. I'm going to keep my two 12 mils safely on the side here. And I'm removing the wrong bolts. I need to remove those, I just needed to remove these two. So I've got the bracket all the way removed when I didn't need to do that. You can just get these two 12 mils off the front where they attach to the plastic air canister. Oh, you took a tumble. Where'd you go? Everything's falling down. I really need to invest in a better camera and a better tripod. I apologize about that, guys. I was never really interested in producing super cool professional YouTuber videos. This was supposed to be just a channel to help out and help trooper owners keep their troops on the road. So, just for convenience sake, I'm going to pull that one off too. You can see I've replaced the stock clamp with a stainless steel hose clamp, which I far prefer, not just for cosmetics, but for their actual function. They bolt down like nothing else. And in this case, that hose is kind of on there pretty good. There we go. Got that free. Okay. And why won't that come out of there? Okay, it is seized in the hole. Alright, so I'm just going to use my screwdriver to gently pry here, which in this case it actually was handy to have that bracket off so I could pry that. Can you guys see okay? Yeah, you can see there. Looks like I'm getting low on battery life, so before the camera kicks out, we're just going to get into it. If you happen to need one of these mass airflow sensors for your 4ZE1, I would like you to contact me. I have a box full of them. I must have at least 6 spares, and I've never found a dead one. So I'm just going to take it and put it over here on my rag, and then I'm going to get my sensor cleaner, shake the can really good. And so all I'm going to do, where is my honeycomb wafer? Here's my honeycomb wafer. And so all I'm going to do is give the wafer a quick spray. And I'm just going to give that some different angles all the way around because it is honeycomb, so I want to make sure that I hit all the different sides. And I'm just going to give that a quick clean. Now, because your air filter is in front of this, you won't find a lot of debris, but what you will find is that it's a little bit carboned up. And so you can kind of see the shade there. See the black circle? Oh. Of course, wear gloves to protect your hand from these chemicals. And now what we're going to do is just spray directly into the port. I want to kind of set that on an angle. And I'm just going to give it from about 4 inches away. 10 to 15 shots. Saturate the bead in there. Get the element nice and moist. Now, when you go to do this, I want you to make sure that the sensor box is on top so that the fluid doesn't drain into the box. Okay, and so now the rest of the procedure is simply to wipe it out with some clean rags and let the unit sit here long enough for the fluid to evaporate, because you don't really want to start it up with that fluid on there. So 10 to 15 sprays should do good. You've got your shop towel underneath to catch the runoff. It does help to attach a straw to the end because, as you can see, it oversprayed quite a bit. And for the best results, you want to clean the MAF sensor each time your air filter is cleaned or changed, and that is exactly what we're doing next. Catch the next video where I talk about K&N air filters and have a little discussion as to whether or not they're worth purchasing and how to clean them and reinstall them. And also I do a little mod there on my air filter housing where I set it upside down for mass airflow. Alright guys, rubber side down, keep those troops a-rolling.